Hey, folks, welcome. Thanks for joining us tonight on a Friday night, or whatever night you're watching it, I guess. So, welcome. Thank you, Keith, for bringing me back on. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Excited to get into it. These are some good chapters we're going to review tonight.
Yeah, what you going over tonight?
You
don't even know, do you?
Well, I think chapters 5 and 6, I hope.
One thing, you haven't asked me the questions yet.
No, but it should be over that third week.
True. How you doing today, man?
Oh, blessed. Too blessed to be stressed.
Too blessed to be stressed. Why is that?
I woke up today.
You wake up in the day, what's some things that you be like, oh, is it just you waking up or what?
No, I wake up, I'm excited because I woke up. That's on my bucket list to wake up every day, and so far I'm batting 1,000.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm getting all these interesting questions together for you.
Good.
Trying to see what we got going on here. You got the show for a minute. We just waiting for some more people to come in here.
All right.
I'm trying to. Okay. So you put another book on?
Yeah, the green one is live now, so all four are
live now. Okay. Yeah, I was having some problems today with the live, so I had to go on and talk to some people and let them know where we at, because my StreamYard was acting funny today, and every time I would schedule a live, it would like cancel it. And so when I put it out on my my post, I was the one that I put out earlier today, so I'm trying to get another one up now. So yeah. I'm trying to get another one up now, but we still early into the stream, so don't worry about it. Keisha, can you share that one with me? Mm-hmm. That you're doing? Just send it to my phone. Cause I got like 5 streams out there right now. It's bad because it kept, usually it holds it for me. Yeah, usually it holds it for me, and if we got some people in the comments, Smiley, you can respond to them.
Well, thank you. I feel good. I look healthy. I feel healthy. Therefore, I am healthy. That's
right. That's right. By this being a live show, it's okay. Sometimes we run into some technical stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh, it happens to the best of them.
Sometimes we run into some technical stuff, and
Well, life's like that. It keeps throwing up red lights.
Man.
Here's the secret. Red does not mean quit. It means pause, reflect, and reset.
That's right. Pause, reflect, and reset. I'm going to turn on a little music too, man, while we chilling. Okay? Don't despair, Smiley.
Yeah. Ambitious Keith, you're asking about what's the mindset advice. I think we're going to cover that in chapters 5 and 6 tonight. So hang in there.
So what'd you do today, man?
Well, I put in a good 4 or 5, 6 hours of volunteering.
Okay.
Got reading some more research. So
What else?
that fills my day quickly. I get into reading or something, researching, and my afternoons are gone. It's called passion. You find something you love doing, doesn't feel like work. So
I'm gonna give you a subject to start talking on, okay?
yeah.
All right. Okay. What does E plus R equals O mean, and why is it so powerful?
Well, E plus R equals O is a reference from a Jack Canfield training. And it basically is very simple. Event plus response equals outcome. Now, it's basically how you respond to an event. And you can't control every event. Obviously, you can't control that. But you can always control your response. And the outcome will be better. If you have a positive response, it's more likely to be a positive outcome. It puts the power back into your hands. So,
Okay.
like I always say, positivity always wins. And I tell people, always be that positive pebble that you throw in the pond, the calm pond, and that ripple effect. Positivity grows, and that you want to be part of that ripple. You want to start that ripple of positivity and reach out to the people. So, again, you can't control every event. But how you respond to it, you absolutely can.
Okay. And putting that in your life. What's up, Matthias? How can you put that far as in your life? How did that affect you in your life? What's the example of that coming up?
Well, a good example is, again, you can't control things that happen. Sometimes your day will go to crap, and how you respond to it will help the outcome. Sometimes you just got to get up and go for a walk and then come back and reset. Lovely traffic down in the Phoenix area. A good example is you're driving down the interstate. It's already stressful. You're white knuckling it during rush hour, and someone decides that they decide to be in front of you is better, and they cut you off. You hear a lot about road rage across the country nowadays. Your response, they got basically what I will do besides cussing all the time. I now, because it gets your blood boiling and it raises your blood pressure, your pulse,
That's right.
and you don't want to stroke out while you're driving. So I'll thank them for the lesson and how not to drive during rush hour traffic. And I realize my outcome isn't blowing my top. It's keeping an even keel and just like, okay, whatever. So we've all had that experience, I'm sure. Whether they cut you off while you're racing or cut you off while you're driving or walking or whatever. But
that's right.
We're shopping at Costco on a Wednesday.
That's right. That's right.
So
that's right. Okay. Matthias, how's your week going, man? How's your week going? How's your week going, Keisha, Keith? How's you guys' week going? We just chilling tonight. We're gonna run this slow and low. I'm just trying to make sure that I had to get my Wi-Fi. Okay. All right. So question number 2, Smiley.
Shoot.
How do people typically respond to life events, and what needs to change?
Well, unfortunately, a lot of people, when something happens, they respond on autopilot. It's usually driven by fear, trauma, limiting beliefs. But, what needs to change is you need to practice awareness and practice presence. Those followers out there or those watching tonight, if you close your eyes for a second and then you clear your mind of as much as you can of the clutter, and imagine, what does the room look like? How
Mm-hmm.
close to detail can you get? How does it
Mm-hmm.
feel? How does it smell? Is there a sound? Like, is there a tick in a clock? Is there a tick in the ceiling fan? That's practice and presence. It gives you time to pause, reflect, choose a better, more empowering response. Um, like I said earlier, somebody cuts you off. Thank you for the lesson on how not to drive. Is a lot better than the bird, or chasing them down or getting angry or whatever. And it becomes a conscious choice, and it rewrites the outcome for you. And so you got to take yourself off autopilot. And a good example is, if you drive somewhere consistently, when was the last time you remember driving to work or driving to or from? Because you're on autopilot. Your subconscious knows where you're going, and you're not even thinking, and you're just driving. Um, First of all, it's dangerous. You're not situationally aware, but it's a good time to practice presence. How does it sound? How does it feel? How's the car ride? How's the temperature? There's a lot of things you can think about, and to pause
Mm-hmm.
and reflect and choose a better, more empowering response.
Right.
It's a pretty long answer. Sorry.
No, just wanted to, get your word on that. We got a long night, so we okay. We got a really long night tonight, so we're okay. Okay, so why do you call out timid and tender behavior, and how does it relate to your fear?
Well, timid and tender, they come from fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of making waves. It keeps people small and safe. And, the thing to remember, if you're safe, nothing grows in your comfort zone. It happens outside the comfort zone. Good
Mhm.
example. Every one of us, I'm sure, have been in a classroom, in a meeting, in a service club meeting, at a dinner or something, and all of a sudden said, "So, what do you think about this?" Now, when they ask you, a lot of times people don't want to make eye contact with the speaker. They don't want to make eye contact with the teacher so they don't get called on. But all of a sudden, do you look at it as a time to shine or a time to hide? Um,
Right.
that helps you. But again, nothing grows in the comfort zone. So I stared them right in the eyes, and then they would never call on me. But, there's a quote that I absolutely love. And it
Uh
talks about, people may think that you've achieved great things, but the
huh.
truth is, that you're still operating well below your potential. And I think if people are honest with themselves and look themselves in that mirror that we talked about last week,
Uh huh.
you can deliver at a higher level. But what's
Right.
stopping you from doing that? Is it timid and tender behavior? Is it fear of rejection or whatever? So try harder, be courageous, be positive, and be bold. I mean, just make it happen. Look for that person to ask you a question, and it's your time to shine.
So, do you think sometimes we give ourselves too much credit, and we give ourselves too much credit that way we don't have to perform or meet the standards?
Yeah. Yeah. Because we talk about mediocrity and that stuff in chapters 5 and 6, I believe. Um, and so, yeah, I mean, you can coach yourself into saying you're doing great things,
Uh
but in
huh.
reality, you're living a timid and a scared life for some reason. Usually it's a fear of something.
So,
So,
so do you think that's like a protection that we
yes,
give ourselves? Like when we say the you versus you, maybe that other you is that a protector that protects you too much to where you're
yes,
not able to grow?
yep. And nothing grows from the comfort zone. I've learned that.
So where does the comfort zone come from? Does that come from like um does the comfort zone come from um I know it's a form of protection. So if it's a form of protection, so if you're comfortable, if you're too comfortable, that means you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. So you're going to have something to occupy your time, and usually that something to occupy your time is things that's not good for you. So
Yes.
is that you, the other you that you're versus, is that not able to detect when, like, say, or it just likes to have fun?
Well, actually, it could be a couple of things. Most likely, it's stemming from a limiting belief, a fear of rejection, a fear of failure, a fear of whatever, that's stopping you, protecting you,
Mhm.
because someone said something to you, and it's stuck with you, and you're allowing that to control the rest of your life. And so the comfort is, we weren't made for comfort. We were made for extraordinary. I firmly believe that. And it's too easy to fall back into complacency and comfort. And I know in 5 and 6, we talk about it. And how it, you self-sabotage. Because more people, like we talked about last week, more people are afraid of success as they are of failure. Because they don't know what success looks like. They've never been there, so they're afraid of it.
Okay.
So,
okay. So once we did that, I'm hit you with another question as soon as you get your water. What's some examples of timorous thinking that sabotage success? Timorous thinking to sabotage success.
Well, first of all, I'll tell people what timorous is. It's showing or suffering nervousness, fear, or lack of self-confidence.
Okay.
And here's a great example. I used to work with a federal agency, and the leadership style in this branch of the agency was what they call fear mongering.
Okay.
And leaders will be like that if they feel they're not good enough, they're not well educated enough, they're not comfortable enough. They want to avoid feedback. So what they've done is they put up a bravado of fear me. They're constantly angry. They're constantly demanding. They want you to be afraid of them so you don't question their competencies. They lack their self-confidence in their position. It goes into a book out there called The Peter Principle, where a lot of back in the World Wars, they promoted people up to the first level of incompetence and then left them there. And so I saw it within the governmental agency, how people have been promoted unjustly, and they put up that bravado of fear me because I'm above you. And it's like, I don't respond to fear. So I would go find them and ask them how their day is going. I'd go and greet them and say, welcome, thanks for joining us, but they don't want to take risks. And then timorous thinking justifies underperformance in life. You're going to live in fear. You're going to be afraid of success. You're going to be afraid of failure. You're really tightly wound, and you're conceding to live in life that you should be. And that's, having fun, enjoying life.
Wow. So the people that's showing their face like that to be strong, that want people to fear them, you think those might be weak people?
Absolutely. They're insecure people. They might not be weak necessarily. And I'm not saying physically weak, but they might be mentally. They might be weak in their leadership style. They might be too new at it. They might not be comfortable with it. They might be intimidated easily, which is usually the case. If you have a hard charger that comes in, people get intimidated, and then they clam up, or they put the fear out there. So yeah, it's a lot of that. You see a lot of it out there.
So how do what's the way we can detect people that's like that? Because I think all of us probably have somebody like that in the workplace, that really comes off like that. Is it where they're always really aggressive, or they never let you see the soft side of them? What's some things we can look for?
Well, a lot of them don't want you to see the real side, the soft side of them. Like you said, that's a great way to put it, Keith. However, positivity wins over, like I said earlier. I would go out of my way, and knowing how these people were, I would reinforce that they had a great idea on this. And then I had a question about this. And then you just kind of, you're not, baffling them with brilliance or BS. You're genuine about it. And because they can tell you if you're not. And then you ask them about their career. What got you to do this? What did you do? How did you get there so quickly? Is there any training that I can take? Is there any training that you've taken? And then you kind of break down those barriers. And pretty soon they'll let down a little bit of the curtain. It's kind of like Wizard of Oz. Don't look at the man behind the curtain. That's that fear blanket they put up. And so I would always work my way around it. And so, and I would be point blank with them. Fear is not a leadership style I respond to. And I was dead honest about it. I don't respond to it. You're not going to scare me. I've been in a lot of scary situations, and this isn't scary. This is just your inadequacies.
So have you ever worked a job and you had a boss or a supervisor like that?
Oh, absolutely.
How did you handle that?
It was Jekyll Hyde. It was with a national nonprofit. It made life very, very difficult for myself, and ultimately my family too. But yeah, it was Jekyll Hyde. Great guy to go hunting and fishing and outdoor stuff with. But once he put the CEO hat on, it was just complete opposite, just a real jerk. And it's because he was uncomfortable in what he was doing. Didn't understand how to read financials properly, didn't know how to do different things. People skills sucked. Let's put it that way. He had better chance of talking with squirrels than he did with board members. So
wow. Is he still in that position? Do you know?
No. He got properly relieved of his duty because, you know, it was up in the Northwest and you don't treat people like that up there. So, especially with around, you know, Fortune 100 CEOs, the Microsoft and those people up there, they don't have time for you.
Uh-oh.
And if they don't have time, they don't have time to give you money either. So.
All right. Man, I'm bringing them back to back. Is that okay?
Absolutely. I love it.
Okay. Why do you say words are more powerful than sticks or stones?
Well, I'm sure everyone online has heard of sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Well, I don't know who started that. That's a limiting belief, to be honest with you, because how many of us can think back when a coach, a teacher, or somebody said, you're lazy, you're dumb, you're weak, you're too slow, you're too small, you're too big. You know, broken bones heal, but words stick. Words tie to identity and become truth. Labels and words, they create wounds deeper than any physical pain can do. It can cripple you for, you know, in all 7 of your life areas. Words like that then create self-fulfilling prophecies because we keep telling ourselves, we keep rehashing that. Am I too dumb? I must be dumb. I must be slow. I must be too small to play football. I'm too lazy to do that. Whatever the case may be. But what I ask people is, what are you feeding your subconscious and conscious minds now? Are you feeding it positivity? Or, you know, I'll give you a good example. I don't watch the news anymore. It's just so full of negativity. I've often years ago, I wanted to come up with a positive news network. And there's actually something close to it over in Europe somewhere. But I don't watch the news because it's negative. And my wife and I, we choose to spend time with people that are like-minded, that are happy in life. Right. We don't want the negativity. We don't need that. We don't want it because if you have, you know, like rheumatoid arthritis or things like that, fibromyalgia, negativity is the worst thing for you. You have cancer. You have stage 4 cancer. You want positive. You want positive all throughout the house. You don't want to listen to that negativity. Now, I know I don't watch the news, but if something big enough is happening, my good friend Keith will tell me, yell up the road, hey, take cover. They're coming in. Or, you know, somebody will say something to you and then you can go look it up. But otherwise, there's so much negativity in the world. I really wish we'd have more positive news feeds. So,
Smiley, let's go to the comments.
Yeah.
You say, how do I get focused, Smiley?
Yeah. How do I get focused? Well, it's basically you go through presence, like I talked about earlier. And I think next week we talk about the conscious and subconscious minds in chapter 7 and 8, but it's become familiar with mindfulness. Mindfulness is a big buzzword right now, but it's been around for an eternity. And a lot of that is what are your priorities? Make sure they're in line with your actions. Last week we talked about incongruencies. And if you have any incongruencies, you're going to fail to focus 100%. But a lot of it is a lot of self-discipline, a lot of self-coaching, and and also talking to people. Don't be afraid to talk to people. There's a negative connotation that if I talk to a counselor, it's not good. That's not true. If you talk to your priest, you talk to your minister, you talk to whomever, they're there to listen. They're there to help.
Right.
And to help you get back on, that focus line. Hell, I don't think I know anybody that doesn't have ADHD. We're all on the spectrum of ADHD or whatever it might be. And so focus doesn't come easily for many people. They try and do it through medication, but I don't, I'm a medication medicinalist. How little can I take and keep going as far as medicine goes? But again, the focus is, a lot of it is find peace within yourself and find your passion. You find your passion, focus will never be an issue. My passion is writing and helping people and speaking. I lose track of time so quickly, and my family will tell you, I'll spend 10, 12, 18 hours writing and not realize that time went by so quickly.
Right.
So I hope that answered your question, Thomas. If not,
that was a good question.
Shoot it in there.
I got another one. How do you help people change their emotional responses?
Well, step one is like focus, awareness. You got to be aware. Number two, pause. Insert a moment between whatever triggered the event or whatever they're trying to trigger emotion and how you're going to react to that emotion. A good case, there's a lot of research out there and a lot of people in prison for the rest of their life because of one moment, one lapse of judgment in a moment of time. Had they taken a moment to pause, take a deep breath, reflect, anything, a deep breath is really helpful between pulling literally that true trigger. They're spending the rest of their life behind bars because of that 1 second. So learning to be aware and then to pause and like a deep breath, a sigh, an affirmation, a quote, something that is really inspiring to you might be good. I'll recite a mantra. I was at an interview, a very competitive interview one time, and the guy asked just a few questions. The CEO came in and asked a few questions. Do you read? Who's your favorite author? And what's your favorite mantra from that author? And so I yes, and said, here you go. Early to bed, early to rise, sell hard, and dollarize. So it's, early to bed, but I'm very early to rise and I'm working hard, sell hard. It's about sales. And then dollarizing it is, dollarization discipline is an incredible book. If anybody's in sales, or if you want to understand, is it worth my time to go get this? Is it worth time to drive all the way across town to save a nickel on gas, a gallon? Or what's it going to cost me on mileage, oil change, salary, hourly, whatever it might be. And then you add it up and you're going to be surprised that 5 cents a gallon isn't worth it. So I had a secretary or an accountant, my bookkeeper at one of the offices I was at, and she wanted to run down to the post office and get a refund for like $3. And I was they brought me in to turn things around for them. Right. And I sat her down and said, we don't need to go to the post office until the refund is greater than $12.52. And she said, how did you come up with that? So I sat down and said, I'm paying you a salary. I'm paying for insurance on the vehicle. I'm taking that risk of sending you there. The wear and tear on the vehicle, the oil change, all this stuff. They thought I was nuts, but then they understood how I thought. And so it helped her choose a better response. But one of the best, I had a psychologist friend, Dr. Huxford, and he always said, ask yourself this: upon objective review, is my emotional response and subsequent behavior congruent to the situation, or am I blowing it out of proportion? So what? They cut you off, let it go. Just, me getting all worked up and fired up anymore. I'm just like, I still get frustrated. Don't get me wrong. because there's some wonderful drivers down here. But that's, just remember to take a pause. If something, what am I going to do? Just release some air, take a deep breath and let it go. It'll help you.
Do you think men should be less emotional in situations than women?
Well, that actually goes into a scientific question. It went in there. Women have, when you ask a woman a question, 6 parts of their brain light up. If you ask a man that same question, 2 parts of the brain light up. So women have that sixth sense almost. You can walk in the house. Have you ever walked into the house, Keith, and your wife said, "What's wrong?" And you're like, "Man, I didn't say anything." They just have that extra sense because 6 parts of their brain to R2. So ours is survival and procreation, I think, something like that. But it's if you imagine, it's 6 times, it's 3 times stronger than what we're thinking. So as far as emotion goes, do they display it more? Maybe. And that might be getting back to how you were brought up. Men don't cry. You might hear limiting beliefs like that. Men do cry. They're human. If they physiologically can, I can't, but I try. But yeah, that's a great question, Keith. That's out there. Hopefully it wasn't too deep for everyone. Any questions out there?
Okay. What does it mean to act as your highest self when you're triggered? Trying to get these questions going.
Okay. It basically means don't react from impulse and habit. Respond from wisdom, from calmness, from compassion, from past experience, and ask yourself if, visualize the best version of yourself. If I was my best person, how would I respond to this? And I'm telling you, it's not easy. I'll be the first one to tell you, understand it's not easy. But it takes a lot of practice, a lot of self-discipline, a lot of commitment to growth. But when you're done, when you master it, it is so awesome. A lot of times I'll start off asking people, especially veterans, like I'm sitting at the VA or something, I'll ask them, I got a question for you. Is this how you saw yourself when you were a child? Is this how you saw yourself as a mom, a wife, a sister, an aunt, or a husband, a father? Is this how you saw yourself? And usually the response is red-faced anger because I hit a nerve. They're not their highest self. They're playing a part. And unfortunately, some people have to play a part to get benefits. They shouldn't have to. But, and this really bugged me. And that's what kind of got me going down the road. Excuse me. And that's why I wrote 120 seconds to share my story. And I was going to just use that as a free download. And then I was going to just keep it personal and private. But I've decided to take that full plunge and create a 4th book called Life Stoplights 120 Seconds. And that talks about what happened to me and how many times I could have just thrown in the towel and saying, I'm just going to stay in a wheelchair. I'm just going to do this and not fight it. But it was incongruent to me because that's not how I saw myself. I said, this isn't who I am. This isn't who I want to be. And so, like there's so many people that, what's the difference between a professional athlete and myself? Why did they do that? Because they probably had more drive and support as they're coming up, or they maybe didn't have the support that made them hungry for it. So anyhow, I don't want to digress too much, but once you learn to master it, about who am I, and who you are and how you want to be, and you might not be there yet, but act as if you are there. And so doing as your highest self is the most rewarding thing you'll have.
Why should people buy the book?
If you're looking to improve life, to look at life differently, I'm not much to say you must buy it, but the more I'm into this, I reread that book at least 4 times a year, the Red Book. And there's so much good information in there. Over 200 books were put into that and thousands of interviews of people from all walks of life. And it was, it's very beneficial. Actually, my mom, I sent her a copy a couple of weeks ago. She's read it 3 times and she said, this is very good. I can't wait for the next book. And so I said, the yellow book is out. And so then I said, let her know the green book is out and now the 120 seconds is out. So she's actually gone back and reread that book. And she said, it's almost like a journal or a diary. And I said, it is a self-help book because there's a lot of questions. If you were to read it cover to cover, 90 minutes, one flight from Denver to Minneapolis or whatever. But if you actually do the questions, it could take you weeks because it makes you think. And I've gotten a lot of positive feedback from it. I haven't heard many negative things other than the book made me cry. One gal said, and the reason being is guilt was so solid in her life that she just emotionally crashed after reading the book. It released for her and she found comfort. And so if you're struggling in life or if you want to get ahead in life, it's a great book. A lot of information in there. A lot of people, I want to hear people's feedback. I'm hoping someday to create a blue book where sky's the limit and share stories from what people have done. Last week, I shared the story about the gentleman I coached for about a month, and a month and a half later, I went back to see him. He was all excited, and turned out he made more money that following month that I coached him than he did in an entire year in his life, and he was almost 60 years old.
Wow.
And so I removed limiting beliefs that were stopping him from doing the best version of himself.
Right.
And he pushed forward. So hopefully that answered your question.
Yeah. You answered it really good.
Thank you, Keisha, for buying the book. Appreciate it. I think Yuddy's live right now, isn't he?
What does try harder really mean in the context of growth? What does try harder really mean in the context of growth?
Well, try harder is a mindset. Somebody mentioned something about mindset. Try harder is a mindset. It's try harder, and it's not for exhaustion. It's about intention. Be intentional about it. Showing up fully, giving full presence, effort, and heart. Some people say, I'll give you 110%, which just, people have buzzwords that flip their switches. And that there, I have to come up with an alternate behavior response because there's no such thing. Mathematically, you can't give 110%. You can only give 100%, but I guess people feel good saying 110%, but just give me 100%. And that's what I'm asking for. It means to stop, refuse to coast. Don't just get along with life. Always seek progress, always moving forward. Because it's, like I said, it's a mindset. And it was an author from the 40s, a book I read, and, try harder. And he goes on and talk about try harder in this, try harder in that. And so that's what created the 7 life areas. Try harder in each of those 7 life areas that we talk about in the Red Book.
Okay. On the subject of mind shift, what mindset shift is needed to truly pursue excellence?
Well, self-discipline. I have a chapter, I think, dedicated to self in the Red Book. Talking about self-discipline, self-efficacy, it's just keep yourself into it. You got to really stay focused on what you want to do. What's the task at hand? Where do you want to go in life?
Okay. Yeah, mindset advice is go. Yes, hit the like button, please. In chapter 6, you talked about the ugly cousins.
Oh, yes. Yeah, the ugly cousins of I know. There's 2 of them. Well, really 3, but 2 that I talk about. I think it was minimalism and relativism. Minimalism is doing the absolute least possible, and relativism is a newer term, and it's basically a lot of the younger generations. I'm not picking on you, but they're getting to the point of relativism says the truth is whatever I say it is. This law this isn't how I perceive it. This is how I perceive it. Well, no, the law is the law. You can't decide how you want to do it. So it's, the truth is whatever you want it to be. No, that's not how it is. But either case, minimalism, mediocrity, relativism, they both create excuses and breeds underperformance. They reward underperformance. They justify underperformance, but they also kill growth, excellence, and accountability. So that's why I called them the ugly, cousins of mediocrity.
Right. So what does it mean to act as your highest self? Act as your highest self when you're triggered.
I think we talked a little bit about, don't respond from impulse and habit. Respond from a place of wisdom, experience, calmness, compassion, positive experience. That's one that takes practice to do, but it's worth it, because you're going to be living, being, and doing as your highest self, which is rewarding.
I'm gonna kind of switch stuff around for you a little bit, because I know you're the writer of the book, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you was mentioning something in the book about epidemic.
The mediocrity.
And why it's such a strong statement.
It's frustrating because mediocrity has become normalized in society. It's people coast. People settle. Bare minimums become the new expectations. Excellence becomes very rare. It's not a goal anymore. It's just survival is a goal. Like, how little can I do and stay employed? How little can I do and stay married? Average becomes acceptable. That's the epidemic, where average is acceptable. To me, it's not. I like to tell people, or ask people, how would you feel living in the United States if the military was mediocre? If we weren't one of the most powerful, well-suited militaries out there in, the air, land, sea, and now space, we're pushing frontiers. Mediocrity can be such a poison to an organization if you don't bite it in the bud. And, then you look from military contractor perspective, you look at how far they're pushing things and stuff we don't even know about. They now, instead of using $1.2 million missiles to shoot down drones and such, they use lasers that cost $1 of electricity. So as long as that ship's generating electricity, they can use a laser to shoot stuff out of the sky with accuracy, and they don't have to worry about reloading or writing a new budget. So, and that's those companies, Raytheon and Lockheed Martin and Boeing and all these guys, they're not sitting back saying, how little can we do and keep the contract? It's what more can we push to sell more of the contract to them, so they're basically in bed with them so deep that they can't climb out. They have to stay with them.
Right.
So
how do you challenge readers to break out of a mediocre environment?
Well, try harder. It's a mindset. But what I would do for starters is, question yourself about everything: your work, your habits, your peer group, your standards. And then my wife and I, when we raised our kids, we always told them, associate yourself with people that are as good or better than you are in school, and that they're smarter than you, because it's going to bring you up higher. People say, can you bring it down to me? Or I say, can you bring it up to me? But if mediocrity is rewarded in your organization, you got two things to choose. You either help them raise the bar or you move on. When I worked for the nonprofit in executive leadership and management, I had two things in the corner of my office at all times. I had a large crazy comb from the 80s, and then I had a broom. And people would ask me, why do you have those in the room? I said, because either I'm going to groom you or I'm going to broom you. And so I would tell people I would hire slow but fire fast. And I would hire 9s and 10s, people that are as good or better. And most of them were better than I was, which made me step up my game to be better. And so if they were 5 or 6 on the performance scale and I knew they had potential, I'll work with them. I'll groom them. But if they didn't have the right mindset and attitude, I moved them out. I didn't pass the trash to the next organization. I just let them find their passion somewhere else. But a good thing to remember is healthy growth does not happen in stagnant waters. So they say growth doesn't happen in there, but I'm saying healthy growth, because growth does happen in stagnant waters. It's bacteria and everything else, but healthy growth does not. So
what age were you when your mind opened up to where like you like, okay, you know, I want something different, or were you raised like this, or you know?
Well,
thinking.
You know, I think it really, my accident really made me question a lot of things, because I was alone out in San Diego, didn't know anybody on the hospital side. None of my shipmates were there or anything else. And so I had to grow up really fast and decide, you know, this isn't the choice I want in life. This isn't who I am. And so what's going to stop me from being that? And that kind of clicked. But then, you know, I got tired of doing the mundane, being moved around the country every 18 to 36 months to turn things around. And I just got to the point of, you know what, I'm done doing it for everyone else. I want to do it for myself. And I want to find out why I'm walking today where others in a wheelchair are not. And, you know, I went through that whole why process that we talked about last week. And it's, you know, it really opened up when I found my why, and my passion is to write and help people. And from the beginning, like I shared with you, Keith, you know, I'm not out to make millions of dollars I want to help people. I want to start a movement that's going to help people deal with limiting beliefs and fears and make them a better person and more positive world. So it's about helping people. And that's why I went round and round with Amazon many a times on how much you're going to charge for the book. Based on all the material in the Red Book, they wanted just shy of $19 a book. And today it's 12. It's still at 12 because they moved up printing costs.
Yeah, family, the book is very affordable. The book is very affordable. If you look across that bottom, you're gonna see all Smiley social media channels, and in all the bios, you can just press the button. It's gonna take you straight to his books. Right now we have 4 on deck?
Yes, sir.
We have 4 on deck right now, and yeah, man, it's the best investment, man. A burger is gonna cost you $18, man. This book is $12. This book is $12, and I'm telling you, it's an easy read. It's 93 pages, and man, I'm telling you, it's worth it. It's worth it. You know, I'm coming up with these questions, you know, because these questions, all these questions that we're going over, and that this is our third live. All these questions are actually answered in the book. We're just going through the chapters of the book, actually, right, Smiley?
Yes, sir.
And that's why you see me with my head down a little bit, you know, taking notes and stuff like that, trying to get the right questions for him. But all these questions the answers are in the book, right, Smiley?
Yes, sir. At least they'll open up ideas and start the conversation.
That's right. That's right. And, you know, you can always send your questions to Smiley Mcginnis at gmail.com. And that's actually his management page. And all questions will be forwarded to Smiley, because I think in a little while we're going to be very, very busy. Very, very busy. You know, once this train gets going, we're going to be very, very busy. So enjoy yourself right now, Smiley, because you're going to wish for these days, and your family's going to wish for these days, because, you know, sometimes when you put things out there in the world and say you want to help people, sometimes you get tested. So you might be keeping a bag packed a lot. Okay.
A to-go bag.
Yeah. So enjoy these days, you know, and this is just how it works, guys. Like whenever you got your mind on something, I was talking to a dear friend today, and he's doing some big things, and things wasn't going the way he wanted them to go. And I was like, just hold on. They're going to start rolling. Just hold on. They're going to start rolling. And he held on, and now things are going the way that he wants them to go. So if you got things out there, if you're trying to be great and if you're trying to do great things, remember, great things take time. So be patient with what you guys are doing. Great things take time. They take time. The easy stuff, you shouldn't want the easy stuff, because the easy stuff, everybody can get it. So so we're getting this set up, and we're about to work real soon, but it's not up to us. It's up to us to just put out the information and start letting the people, talk. And that's what's going to happen. And pretty soon, Smiley, enjoy you sitting back smiling. In a minute, you're going to be like, man, I'm so tired, man. Be like, what happened? He's like, man, you didn't schedule me five. I got to go do 5 speeches this week. And, this and that and this and that. But the good thing is the books are already written, so that's good, and we're going to let Amazon take care of the distribution on that, and I think everybody orders from Amazon. We trust Amazon, and this book is on Amazon. So, all right. So you ready, Smiley? You ready to get going?
Well, one thing, Keith, you talked about, if it's easy, I've always told people, if the path that you're on is easy, then you're probably not on the right path, because comfort doesn't, growth doesn't come out of comfort. It comes out of being outside where you're challenging yourself. Like Monday, when I tried to go dove hunting and walk 3.63 miles and didn't get a shot off. But I realized how steep those hills are and how rocky they are, and how barbed wire still wins if you climb through a fence. So
that's right.
There's always challenges.
Yeah. God, they said, I love you and Smiley's combos. So they say we the dream team, man.
I agree.
We the dream team, man.
Just ask me.
Okay, what mindset shift is needed to truly pursue? Oh, I think I already asked you that. What mindset shift is needed to truly pursue excellence?
Well, you talked about the dream team. And because I mentioned a extraordinaire cluster or dream team, to use that to help you combat mediocrity.
That's right.
A dream team are people, are allies committed to excellence. They have they're like-minded like you. They're there to uplift, challenge you, and they help hold you accountable. If anybody goes to the gym, if they're a regular gym rat, you'll have accountability partners. Somebody there to say, hey, why weren't you here? Why aren't you here? Vice versa. It's hard to soar alone. So surround yourself with others who are climbing the ladder as well. I refer to life as a slope. Imagine life as a slope. Either you're climbing and learning and growing, or you're sliding and losing your edge in life.
That's right.
There's no such thing as staying still anymore, especially in today's world. Stuff moves so quickly. You have to be educating, climbing, and growing, and asking questions and challenging those, and finding, dream teams, or you can create, clusters of positivity and just, meet on a Friday night and chat online or whatever. But build those groups, and you'll be amazed at how many people want to join, but you got to make sure they're like-minded. They're positive. They're going to be challenging and rewarding and supportive of you as well. So.
That's right. Okay. So, I got one more question for you, Smiley. Can you give me a final takeaway from chapters 5 and 6?
Well, first of all, stop asking yourself what you can get away with or how little you can do, and start asking, how can I be better today? How can I make my organization, team, company better right now, today? Shift from survival to self-mastery. Excellence isn't a one-time effort. It's a habit. It's a daily choice. You're not here to be average, folks. You're here to be extraordinary. You're here to grow, to give, to go beyond what you thought was even possible. Challenge mediocrity, relativism, minimalism. Replace those timorous and feared responses with conscious, courageous ones. Try harder, not for perfection, but for purpose with excellence. I understand it's not easy to deliver at excellence 100% of the time, all the time. But I say in the book, I talk about chunk it down, give 5% in each of the 7 life areas. Pick one life area today and say, how can I be 5% better today? That's the thing is, how you can be 5% better. Don't try and take it on, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? You don't eat it whole. But I do want to say, family, friends, and followers, please take time to give us some feedback. What do you want to see more of? What do you want to hear more of? What do you have questions about? Make sure you get a copy if you can. Buy a copy of Life Stoplights. I have it. I believe 3 of the red, yellow, and green are all on Kindle as well. So if you don't want an actual book, you want to do a digital book, you can. I guarantee you're not going to look back after you do it. You're not going to set it down and just go back to your normal life. You're going to be wanting to challenge yourself and find good things. And folks, right now you're getting in at the ground level of something incredible, like Keith mentioned. You're at the foundation of Life Stoplights team. I refer to it quite a bit in the yellow and the green book, but hey, become a part. I want to hear your story. I want to hear your challenges. What can I research and find out more about? Someone asked me, what's your goal? A friend asked me today, what's your goal in life? I said, I want to be the authority figure on limiting beliefs in life. How can I help? I want to help people understand what limiting beliefs, how powerful they can be.
Right.
And, because I was growing up, I was very, very small. I graduated high school at 138 pounds. I was 5'5", maybe, very small. But I had a big heart and a challenge. I went on to the Navy and went on to do some great things there before I was challenged again. And so, live life to its fullest. I talk about in 120 seconds. What are you going to do in the next 120 seconds? 120 seconds took away my Navy career. It took away my career path, just like that, in that accident. So it's about the 15-car pileup and the trials and tribulations I went through. And it's possible, folks. Keep the conversation open. Create your groups, your clusters, your like-minded people. It's easy to get in a group where people are just nitpicking and grumping and bitching and complaining. Take the high road, find the positive people that are going to grow with you and challenge you and hold you accountable. You're going to find out how much more fun life will be, and more powerful you'll become as a parent, a father, a mother, sibling, whatever it might be. So, go after it, man. But please do give us some feedback. I'm not just looking for likes. I want some feedback saying I want more of this. I want less of this. I want less of Smiley and more of Keith. Smiley's better looking on radio. So
yeah. So so we appreciate you guys. Like I said, you can look across the bottom, all his Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, of course, his Gmail, right there, going across to right there. And we'll be right back next Friday. I'll have Smiley right back on next Friday. And we'll just go from there. And I appreciate you, Smiley, for coming through. We appreciate you.
You bet. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Our third one. We got another one under our belt. So that's it, right?
Yeah.
We'll see him next week. And thank you so much, man.
You bet. Thank you.
Appreciate you. See you next week. Okay.
It's important to be a hustler, but I think money is, people put too much value in.
What's up, family? What's up, family? We back at it. Let's see. Bam. Appreciate Smiley for coming on. Appreciate for everybody chilling. All right, let's go. All right, let's go, family.
It's important to be a hustler, but I think money is, people put too much value in money sometimes. And you miss out on a lot of other shit that's important in life, chasing it. It's important to have a balance. Like, be a hustler, but live life too. Like, don't base your belief in, like, your life is good on how much money you got.
It's crazy because you do sound like my dad. When my dad told me that, I got my first job. I was like washing dishes in a restaurant.
Yeah.
And I would like dedicate to that job every day. Like I owned the restaurant. And I remember there was days that like my parents and my family would go to the beach and I'll wake up, house empty. I'm like, damn, where y'all at? They're like, oh, we figured you was working. And I was off that day. So I'd be like, damn, like, y'all just think I work every day. And I remember my dad giving me a talk. He was like, hey, you got the rest of your life to work. I was like, well, yeah, but I want to get it.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, yo, for the rest of your life, like once you become 18, like, bro, that's all you're gonna have to do almost every day. So he was trying to tell me to like enjoy it as a kid, to enjoy being a kid, to hang out, to make memories. But I just wanted to, same thing, I wanted to take care of mine. I wanted to get rich. I wanted to be something so bad that I ain't really live as no kid.
Yeah.
When did you learn that getting rich is wasn't gonna be everything?
Like, when you get rich, that's it. Like, that's the happiness, or that's the goal, bruh. The goal is to goddamn spend time with your people and do shit with your people. I think that's more valuable than money, honestly.
Nice.
Because you could give a person $1 billion and tell them, hey, I'm gonna give you this $1 billion, but you gotta be alone for the rest of your life. You can have women in and out of your life, but you can never be married. You can never have kids, and you can never have a family. But you could have a different girl with you every night. And then you could tell another person, hey, I'm not gonna give you $1 billion, but I'm gonna give you a house, a modest car, and your bill's gonna be paid forever. But you can have a wife, kids, family, brothers, sisters, and all this. The person who get the modest stuff is gonna have a better life than the person who got $1 billion.
What's up, family? So, in other words, what he's saying, money's good, but money's just a tool. Money is just a tool. That's all it is a tool, family. Like, money is just a tool. We just have to use it as a tool, because like when money becomes your God, man, you'll never ever have enough. You will never have enough. And the thing is, you're going to miss out on a lot of good things in your life. You're going to miss out on a lot of good things in your life, man, because money's going to become your God. So guess what? You will never, ever, ever have enough money. Never. So you're going to keep on hustling. You're going to keep on working. You're going to keep on hustling. You're going to keep on working. You'll never have enough money when it becomes your God. So with that said, you're replacing money for your fun, for your time. You're replacing money for everything. But one thing money cannot give you is your health, your strength. It will never give you none of that. So, you guys got to watch out. You have to know what's going to make you happy. How much money is going to make you happy? What makes you happy? What makes you happy? What makes you happy? And then you're going to have to go from there and reach that goal and then go from there, man. Yeah. So, that's very true what he's saying. Money is not, it's not going to make you happy, and you're going to miss out on a lot of things. Like this barber just said, you're going to miss out on a whole lot of stuff, period.
to be a hustler, but I think money is, people put too much value in money sometimes, and you miss.
And he's saying this because, you know, he got all the money now, and now you have to go through something to understand it. But if you just listen, then you don't have to go through that, you know. And that's what he said. People put too much value. Now he don't even care. This haircut, whatever he's paying for it, might be better to him than a Bentley or Rolls Royce just to be able to sit and talk to somebody, you know. And he's probably paying this guy maybe $500 to $1,000 just for that hairdo, because, you know, but, you know,
Out on a lot of other shit that's important in life, chasing, and it's important to have a balance. Like, be a hustler, but live life too. Like, don't base your belief in like your life is good on how much money you got.
It's crazy because you do sound like my dad. When my dad told me that, I got my first job. I was like washing dishes.
yeah. And if you never had money, you're gonna be like, oh, you know what? Money's gonna make me this person. Money's gonna give me this status. Money's gonna do this. And it's not. It's not. And it's not. And the sad part about it, some people will never, ever see a large amount of money. So guess what? For the rest of your life, you're going to be chasing that money. So whether if you're working a mediocre job where it's not paying you that much money, because I think everybody's goal is to get rich. And until you get rich and go through and understand like, oh, money's not shit. Money's not nothing. Then that's when you'll realize. But what about the people that never get rich? What about the people that work 40 years of their life and they never get rich, but they always have this dream to be rich because they think it's a certain feeling to be rich because what social media shows us. And sometimes those are the most fucked up people ever. That's the most fucked up people. You know, those are the most people that's missing things. You know, why do you think they go through 12 and 20 different relationships and stuff like that? Why do you think they unalive themselves? You know, that's because their life is messed up. If they supposedly, had so much money, why would they be doing these things? And that's why you guys got to reach out. You got to listen, because that's important for you to listen so you don't have to go through this. Man, you spent 40 years to get rich and then you found out, oh, this wasn't what I thought. Man, you done messed up your whole life. Period.
I was like washing dishes in a restaurant.
Yeah.
And I would like dedicate to that job every day. Like I owned the restaurant. And I remember there was days that like my parents and my family would go to the beach and I'll wake up house empty. I'm like, damn.
Why? Because he wanted to get rich. So he was missing out on stuff. And then when people see that you're a workaholic or people see that you know, money's your God, they want you might not even be busy, but they gonna assume that you're busy. Oh, he's chasing that bag. Oh, he's trying to do this. And you know, I think the worst thing, I heard a motivational speaker, he said, you shouldn't sleep. Don't sleep for 3 or 4 days. How bad you want it? Man, you better go to sleep. Bro, I'm not about to miss no 3 days of sleep. You know, that's crazy. That's crazy. But it's good talk for people that's on bullshit because, you know, that shit, because they'll never miss 3 days of sleep. So they'll just keep watching this inspirational speaker or whatever he's supposed to be, because they'll never not go without sleep. They're never even going to work hard. So they'll just sit and listen to this dude all day, you know, and that's another thing you can get into where you just sit and you're listening to motivation and all that shit all day, but then you're not doing nothing about it.
Y'all at it like, oh, we figured you was working. And I was off that day. So I was like, damn, like, y'all just think I work every day. And I remember my dad giving me a talk. He was like, hey, you got the rest of your life to work. I was like, well, yeah, but I want to get it. Mm-hmm. But he's like, yo, for the rest of your life, like, once you become 18, like, bro.
What's getting? What's getting? Get it could only be something that we see on TV or something that we see on the internet and we say we want that. And it's not even, everything's fake. Everything is fake. Everything is fake, family.
That's all you're going to have to do almost every day. So he was trying to tell me to like enjoy it as a kid, to enjoy being a kid, to hang out, to make memories. But I just wanted to, same thing, I wanted to take care of mine. I wanted to get rich. I wanted to be something so bad that I ain't really live as no kid.
Yeah.
When did you learn that getting rich is wasn't going to be everything?
Like, when you get rich, that's it. Like, that's the happiness or that's the goal, bro.
So what he's saying, Once you reach that point, say you get a check, $10 million, $5 million. Oh, I'm rich. Oh shit, I'm rich. Shit. 2 weeks later, month later, shit. How that feeling's gone. Temporary happiness, bro. Temporary happiness.
The goal is to goddamn spend time with your people and do shit with your people. I think that's more valuable than money, honestly.
Nice.
Because you could give a person $1 billion.
Money's a tool, family. Money's a tool. Hey, man, thank you guys for coming in tonight, man. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate Smiley for coming in, man. Hey, I'll see you guys next week. Hey, have an amazing week. And, hey, make sure you love yourself. Make sure you walk to live. Remember, are you walking today? Are you running today? Remember, nobody can love you like you can love yourself, family. So let's get that going. And I'll see you guys next week. I appreciate you.